All right, back again here on the Sort of Sports Podcast, episode number 30. Yes, that's right, episode 30. Now, I actually don't have this scripted at all. I know my mother would be very disappointed in me. She's always like, "Oh, you need to script it out more," and I'm like, "You're right," but for some reason I just didn't. I just didn't feel like scripting it, so I just felt like getting on and going. So we are currently just going for it. Obviously, you've seen the graphic, you've seen the title. We're going to be talking about the NBA Finals. And I guess I can say, here we are, right? We are here. It is finals time. It's June 1st right now. Tomorrow's June 2nd. You know, real insightful analysis here on the Sort of Sports Podcast, right? June 2nd, right after June 1st, in case you didn't know. But, yeah, so tomorrow's June 2nd. That's going to be Thursday at 9. I don't know why I told you that June 2nd was a Thursday because, you're probably listening to this on that date and you are thinking, well, duh. So regardless of my pointless ramblings, the finals are going to be here and they're going to start. And so, I got to put out a prediction for what I think is going to happen, even though my original finals prediction at the beginning of the year was not Celtics. Why did I try to give myself credit? Heck no. Bucks, Lakers, Bucks in 6. Then when the playoffs started, I said Warriors, Bucks in 7 or 6 again. Let me check that real quick. Did I have that much faith in my boy Giannis? You know what? I wouldn't put it past me. I really wouldn't. Yeah, I had Bucks in 6. Okay. Wow. So Bucks in 6 over that. But now we get to the real matchup that it's going to be, which is Celtics, Warriors. And to me, this is going to be a really fun series because Boston, when I watch them, I love watching their defense. They have the Defense Player of the Year. My boy Marcus Smart, by far and away my favorite player on this team. If they didn't have Marcus Smart, I think I might be swayed into rooting for the Warriors. I honestly think I would root for the Warriors because I think the narrative for Curry is so interesting right now. The original 3 of him, Clay and Dre, all getting that title, the most impressive title of their careers. This is more impressive than 2015 where Kyrie and Kevin Love are both injured by halfway through the series. 2016, obviously they blow it, and then 2017, 2018, they have KD. This would be a really impressive finals and most important finals in every single one of their careers. Curry would probably win finals MVP. It would be special. And if they win, I'm not going to be upset. I said, if the finals really become Warriors-Boston, I will pick a team to root for, but genuinely, I'm fine either way. You're not going to see me crying if the Warriors win it in 6 or 7. I do want to see it go at least 6. I hope it goes 7. I think it's going to go 7. That is my prediction, that it goes 7. And I guess I just say it out right now. I'm taking Boston. And that's because, to be perfectly honest, it's because I want them to win. I really like Marcus Smart. I just really love the way he plays. And, he's really important for them. A lot of his off-ball movement he creates for them, and he facilitates more than you think. And Tatum really facilitates very well. They run him at 3 or 4 a lot, and he facilitates that offense. Brown can facilitate. Al Horford's been amazing to watch randomly. Both of these teams really embody what I love to see, which is just really deep teams with lots of players that know their role, right? Like Curry, it's not like, okay, I'm trying to think about this. This isn't like, for example, we'll go with the 2020 Lakers, right? It's like there's AD and LeBron and some other guys who would step up, but overall, it was AD and LeBron. And these teams, I think, and as much as I love the Bucks last year, I think they do a little bit of that sometimes too, where it's like, well, it's Giannis and Chris and Drew. And, if other guys step up, great. Whereas these teams, it's like, no, you need like 8 of these guys for each team are very important. Curry, obviously, is leading the team for the Warriors. They can always go to him for a bucket. Klay Thompson might have a night. They can feed him. Draymond, defensive anchor. Real big on the bench, He's an important personality, and he's, big on defense, obviously. Jordan Poole is always a threat. Gary Payton II's been become like a lockdown on-ball defender for them and kind of an underrated scorer. Looney, right? He's been a good rebounder for them. There's a lot of interesting pieces in there that are important to this team. There's a lot of depth there that is important. And a lot of guys who can show up in big games. And I think it goes to the Celtics too. Like Derek White can just have a night, and it's like, okay, there you go, Derek White. And he's important every night. It's not just like the Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown show. It's like, no, Marcus Smart some nights is the most important player on the court. Tatum is overall and Curry is overall, but there are nights where Poole is the best player for the Warriors. There are nights where Smart's the best player for the Celtics. There's nights when Al Horford's the best player for the Celtics. And I love that. I love how these teams have these players that step up, and it's not just this team is led by this guy and that's the end of it, right? It's so much more interesting to be watching these two teams. And this is the best offense in the league against the best defense in the league, and that's always fun, right? You've got the Celtics defense who is, I mean, Udoka has pretty much outplayed every team they've played. He figured out how to beat the Nets. You know, once Chris went out, he was like, okay, I know how to beat the Bucks. And, you know, they just basically did what, you know, we always talk about here. It was like you slow down. It's instead of slowing down Giannis, they basically just decided to shut down. I've always said you can only slow down Giannis, you can't contain him. Well, they just said screw containing him, they said screw slowing him down, and they just shut down every one of the Bucks but him, and they're like, he's not going to score 120 points and outscore our whole team, and that's what happened, right? They made it so no one on the Bucks could score but Giannis. Congrats, Giannis, on your 40-point night. We just won in 7. Like, that's how the Celtics beat the Bucks. Go on to the Heat series. It was like, all right, Jimmy, good for you. Like, you want to beat us, beat us. And if Jimmy's not going to beat us, you know, no one else is going to score. And I don't know what they're going to do with the Warriors, though, and I think it's very interesting. There's not an obvious play here because I don't think they can just say, all right, Curry, we can shut down everybody but you, because I don't think that works. I think Curry is, he is the greatest shooter of all time, so you don't want to play him that way. And even if that does work, I don't think you can run that system when their lineup's going to be Jordan Poole, Gary Payton II, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Right? Like, Klay and Jordan Poole are both deadly. I mean, Jordan Poole is, like, maybe going to be, like, an all-star next year, honestly. Like, just based off, like, how well he's been playing, he's been incredible. And, I mean, I'm not saying all-star like he's going to be that permanently, but I'm saying he could get that Chris Middleton-style vote next year for the all-star game. Like, Jordan Poole has been awesome for the Warriors. Absolutely awesome. So, yeah, I think this is going to be an incredibly fun series. I think the dynamics of the teams are both really interesting. The narrative, right? The narratives are so interesting. You've got a team that we knew one of the, like, eventually would click, and it was when they got rid of the superstar Kyrie Irving, and they changed up the coaching, and they did a lot of different moves, and they finally got the team to click for the Celtics. We knew eventually the squad would work, and when people this year were like, oh, that's it, it's never going to work, get rid of it, and no, they stuck it out, and it worked. And that's impressive. Then you got the Warriors, who have been, they were dominant, right? And then they went away for a bit, and now they're back, and this is the most pure, to me, team they've had since 2016, right? Like, they're back to being good guys. They literally went through the arc of the hot new team, then the hot new kids on the block, to the so dominant everyone hates you, to the everyone's glad you're bad now, and then now they're back to, they're like the old boys, the old cowboys coming back, and everybody's happy to see them. And that's really freaking cool. Like, you've got these two opposite sides. You've got this young team that is the most successful franchise in NBA history, one of the most storied franchises in any sport professionally. And then you've got another team that's historically great but has been much more great in the last 10 years than it has ever before. I mean, the Warriors' biggest success period has been the last 10 years. The Celtics haven't won a title since 2008. They haven't been in the finals since 2010. So, you've got a team that was in the finals in 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 5 straight years. Then you got a team that, has won 17 NBA championships in their entire franchise history, but haven't even been in the finals since 2010. And that's really interesting. I think there's a lot of interesting narratives and things here, and I'm really happy the way this shaped up. Like, to me, this is honestly the second best option for my viewing pleasure behind Bucks Warriors. Like, Bucks Warriors was the number one thing I wanted to see, but I think from an overall league perspective, this is amazing. I think there's an argument, because I think the argument really would be that the Bucks Warriors is the most money finals this playoffs could have produced realistically. And I think it's because it's like those are your two most popular players in Giannis and Curry, two most likable players, I think, in the entire league. You know, you've got a franchise that's not super successful in a smaller market against one that's a bigger market, very successful, and I think that's interesting. It plays well. But there's 100% an argument that this is the most money finals possible. Because the best franchise in NBA history, historically, is the Celtics. I would put them above the Lakers. And then the Warriors is third. The Warriors are third, I guess is the way I should say that. The Warriors are third. My mom's an English teacher. I don't want her disappointed in me. The Warriors are third. So you've got two of the most storied franchises. Haven't faced off in a while. Like this old gunslinger style with Curry versus like these young new bloods who are like, I don't want to say they're like Vikings, but like they play defense, right? I don't know why I'm creating this like movie. Well, I guess I'm a big movie guy, so it doesn't surprise you, right? It is the sort of sports podcast. I mean, it's only sort of, right? So yeah, I guess that'd be my comparison. It's like you get the old gunslingers out that are like 50 years old and they're too old for this crap, but they're going in for one final round, and they don't know how many more they got left in them. And then you've got these young like Viking warriors that are just tough as nails, and everybody knew they were coming eventually, but now they're finally here. It's like I'm trying to think of a movie where Clint Eastwood's an old cowboy. Frickin' 310 to Yuma, right? Isn't he in that one? Or he direct that? I don't want anybody mad at me that I haven't seen 310 to Yuma. I've always planned on seeing it. I just never really sat down and watched it. No, he just directed that. Crap. Oh, he didn't direct it either. James Mangold directed that. I'm just completely missing. Wow. What an absolute miss by me. Let me look up Clint. Oh, it's Gran Torino, right? Isn't that one? Isn't he old cowboy in Gran Torino? Let me look up Gran Torino real quick. Gran Torino. Nope, that's just an action movie. That's not a cowboy. Well then, I don't really have a good movie comparison. All I know is I have movie archetype comparison, which is the old Cowboys versus the young, new, like hard as nails Vikings. And I am going to take Celtics in 7. That is my official prediction, mostly just because I would like to see it. I do think it's going to go 7. I think, honestly, if I was a betting man, I might go Warriors. But I just can't. I can't live with myself if the Celtics win and I didn't predict Marcus Smart getting that title. That will bother me. So I got to predict that. And then on top of that, I do really think they could. I think, Udoka's shown that he's outplayed really every team he's played so far. And he's figured out how to beat every team. And I think he can, if there's anybody that's going to figure out how to beat the Warriors, it's going to be him. So I think that's really the biggest factor for me driving me in. And the fact that, like, Smart's been playing different on both sides of the court. And I think, we always talk about, like, when you're talking about Dalton, your first and second stars are always going to be there. It's when your third and fourth best players show up, as that's when you win titles. I think that's really happening for both of these teams. I think that's what makes it interesting. Like, Draymond and Jordan Poole and Gary Payton are there, like, every night. I'd say even Looney, right? And then whereas with the Celtics, it's like Marcus Smart and Al Horford have been huge lately. I mean, huge. Especially Al Horford, honestly. And then, like Derek White's had some games, and that's important. Tatum and Brown are going to be there every night. If they weren't there every night, stepping up, then you wouldn't be in this position. Same thing with Curry and Clay. It's those other guys stepping up that wins you the title, and I can't bet against my boy Marcus Smart. I think, I don't think the NBA's rigged to the extent of I won't ever fully dismiss the idea that things can be rigged to some extent, but I do not believe the idea that they sit down at the beginning of the year and say, here's who's winning the finals. I could see if somebody wants to argue, like, maybe the draft lottery's rigged, like they choose who wins that, different things. I think there's potential for that, I don't really believe any of it though, just because A, that's kind of sad. B, there's really not enough valid proof. Do I believe that like refs sometimes want to see the series extend? Yeah, I think that's very possible. That they want to see the series go longer because they get paid more. I could see that happening, but I can also, I'm not going to live by that and be like, oh, they 100% do that. I just keep an open mind more. I just kind of enjoy for what I see. And I'm saying if the NBA is rigged and it's like WWE style where they pick the winner, they would want the Celtics to win to get that 18th title. So that would be my thing. But I guess the other argument would be like, oh, well, it's Curry. They can make money off Curry. So there might be a counter to that. I don't know. But I don't think it is. So I'm just going to take the Celtics straight up. Sorry, excuse me. My allergies been acting up. Yeah, so I'm taking the Celtics in 7. I can't wait. Also, the jersey matchup here is fire. We got that green-white against that blue-yellow. And then when, like, the Warriors wear their retro jerseys that are absolutely stunning, the blue with the red lettering with the white outline, those are gorgeous. And then Boston wears their green jerseys with the white outline. Mwah! That is literally perfection. They're going to do that jersey matchup at some point, and I'm going to lose my freaking mind. I got to watch basically every game of this series. I just genuinely can't wait. I think it's going to be an amazing series. I think it's going to be some of the best, it's going to be the best series of the playoffs. I think it's going to top the Bucks Celtics series because that's been the best series. I think Boston's had the 2 best series overall. I think the 3 best series have been, am I really going to put Timberwolves Grizzlies? Maybe. I guess I'll go Suns Mavs because even though the last game was a blowout, it was just the comedy of it was perfect. And then Celtics Bucks, Celtics Heat. And then I think this is going to be the best one. And I would like to say my prediction of this being a Hood Classic season and thus a Hood Classic playoff and a Hood Classic final was true. I mean, this is an amazing finals. I think it's going to be a great series. I think it's going to last at least 6 games, maybe 7. We haven't had a Game 7 finals since 2016, and that's going to be sweet. So, yeah, I'm thinking we are in for a Hood Classic, and we've had now back-to-back absolutely 10 out of 10 NBA seasons. And I think next year is going to be a third. I don't see the NBA slowing down and having amazing years. I mean, they've had back-to-back amazing years. Like we're going to have another one. So, yeah, the NBA is really on a great turn right now. They just had a lot of good stuff. I think the players and the teams they have, it's so competitive. And, the fact that the last 3 finals have had 2 different teams in it every year is amazing. And I'm really happy for that. And I think next year it'll be a completely different matchup too. I mean, I don't think the Celtics or Warriors will be back here next year. When I do my predictions beginning of the year and I take the Cavs to win the 2023 NBA Finals and everybody gives me funny looks, just know it's because I love the Cavs. And I actually might do that. Not a joke. I really shouldn't do that, but I might do it. You never know with me, all right, guys? But yeah, so I'm gonna move on from that point because that's gonna get me in trouble down the line if I keep talking about that because that could monumentally backfire. So yeah, I'm taking the Celtics in 7. I can't wait. I'll probably record a pod around game 3, 4, or 5 once we've got a feel for the series. Then I'll record one obviously when it's over, and then then we're just in full MLB swing. So yeah. I think I think I've done. Also, Quinn still hasn't sent me the Big Finish thing. I mean, the last episode of the BS is genuinely going to come out 2 months late, like at this rate, because it was supposed to come out I think the first week of May. Yeah, it was supposed to come out the first week of May, and it's going to come out like the first. No, it's not going to come out 2 months late, but it's going to come out like a month and a half late at this point. So that's wild. No one yell at Quinn, though. He's fine. He just hasn't gotten around to... We need the final Big Finish stats, and he hasn't gotten around to doing it, which is fine. But, that's why it's going to be late. Like, really late, to the point where, it's not really even really relevant. I'm just going to upload it for the sake of, I have an episode. So it's going to be gone. Actually, no, wait. That episode's actually gone. Never mind. I actually need to text Quinn. I guess I should just announce it here. I had a problem on my computer, and I actually lost the file that was that edit. So the draft episode is essentially the Big Salad season finale for season 2. I didn't even realize that until just now. That's sad. Yeah, so we recorded an entire hour and a half pod. We actually discussed our favorite episodes of Seinfeld. I guess we'll just have to save that segment for another time because I had a glitch in my computer. It was completely my fault. I accidentally deleted some files that I didn't mean to delete, and that was one of them. So, wow, I didn't even realize that. That just hit me. Okay. Wow. All right then. So yeah. So that'll back to what I was saying, I guess. So I did the NBA playoff wrap up. Sorry, NBA wrap up and playoff predictions, and I did my Multiverse of Madness with a touch of the first round talk. Then I did conference finals predictions, and now I'm doing NBA finals predictions. Probably do one NBA finals reactionary, and then one post NBA finals episode. And then, like I said, we're in full MLB swing, which is exciting. Because while I love my MLB, when we really start getting into the deep cuts, MLB is mid-June. Because at the beginning, you're just kind of feeling things out. I mean, if we want to discuss a little bit of MLB, we can now. And so what I was going to say, just to touch on it, is my friend and I were having a debate today about, Aaron Judge versus Aaron Judge. Yes. Aaron Judge versus Shohei Ohtani. Who's been having a better year? And it is far and away Judge. And I'm not even going to read you Shohei's stats. That's not really the point of what I'm saying. The point is, unless you've been living under a rock, Aaron Judge is having an amazing season. And I knew that too. But I wasn't even realizing just how incredible of a year he's having. So if we go to this year, he leads the league in slugging, which doesn't surprise you because he's been hitting the absolute tar out of the ball. He's got an OPS plus of 193, which is 100% in the top 10 in the league right now. I will check that in a moment, though. His OBP is 371, which is pretty good for him. 2019, it was a 381. In 2018, it was a 392. But basically, the point is he's getting walked a decent amount. Not anything crazy, but he's not just getting freaking K'd all the time. I always kind of make jokes that he does. So let me look at adjusted OPS plus. Yeah, who's leading in OPS plus this year? Right. Oh, whoops. All right. Oh, Paul Goldschmidt, 202 for the NL, and Jose Ramirez, 200 for the AL. There's another guy that's having an absolute nuts year. Jose Ramirez right now, 200 OPS plus, a 1.048 OPS, an OBP of 401. He's got 7 stolen bags, 51 RBIs, 13 homers. I think Aaron Judge is 14. And his batting average is a 299. Now, what's important about that is that his OBP is a full 102 above. Is 102 above his batting average. So I'm saying he's getting walked a good amount. So good for Jose Ramirez. To me, Jose Ramirez right now is the MVP for the AL. Him and Aaron Judge the two main guys. But I mean, Jose having a great year for the Guardians. And good for him. I mean, he's a really underrated player. I live in Ohio. I hear a lot of people that love him. And and then he just got that extension. Whereas Aaron Judge, he could be gone. This might be his last year in New York. I hope so. Go join the Marlins, boys. We all know, I love the Padres and I love the Cubbies, but football, I'm very loyal to Panthers. Basketball, it's very much Cavs and then also Bucks Pistons. Baseball is one I'm least attached to. My teams are the Cubs and Padres, but it's I'm definitely the least attached with baseball. I just really like baseball overall, and it's a lot more player driven, especially because the players bounce around. It feels like a lot for me in baseball. So, yeah, Aaron Judge has 18 home runs. Holy crap, not 14. I apologize, but yeah, Judge is just having an absolute cracked year. It's definitely, not definitely because a big factor I bet is because he is in that contract year, and that always usually gets some guys to step it up. As far as division leaders right now, we got the Mets and the NL, which I'm pretty happy with. I predicted that one. I think the NL East is actually exactly like I predicted right now, which is Mets, Braves, Phillies, Marlins, Nats. Yeah, it is. AL East, I will admit, I did not think the Yankees would come out this hot. I had them finishing 4th, and right now they are leading the pack. The Red Sox have a losing record by a decent amount, 4 games. They're 23-27. And then the Rays are still really good, 28-21, and the Blue Jays are good too at 28-20, but Yankees are just tearing it up at 34-15, the best record in the entire league. Because the Mets have 34 wins too, but they have 17 losses, whereas the Yankees have 15. Twins did not expect to come out this hot. My White Sox, not my White Sox, 23-24, not having a year where they're going to win the World Series, and I'm upset. Maybe they're going to turn around halfway through. You never know. Because as I was talking to my buddies, hardly ever does the team that's really hot in the beginning of the year win the World Series. Usually it's a team that was hotter in the second half, which would make sense. So my hope is the White Sox can step up for the NL Central. Good for the Pirates being third in that division. It sucks that my Cubs are fourth, though. Brewers are winning. Cardinals are second. NL West, the Dodgers, of course, and the Padres. I'm glad I predicted them to be good because they are good at 30-19. Giants are still good at 27-21. Diamondbacks are doing okay, 25-26. And Rockies aren't terrible at 22-26. The West, the Angels are only 5 games behind. The Stros, come on, Angels, please. Rangers are finally 500. They were struggling for a bit there. The Mariners have been a big disappointment for me. I had them in the playoffs. Doesn't even look like they're going to come close at 21-28 right now. That's upsetting. The Athletics are bad, 20-32. Really, the thing with me at the MLB is, can we get that Subway Series, right? Can we get a Yankees-Mets World Series again? Please. I would absolutely love that. Last time it happened was 2000. I would love to see it again 22 years later. I think this would be a much better matchup. And I would take the Mets because I'm like that, you know? I would do it. I would freaking do it. So please let it happen. I pray. Please. Please. Subway Series. Freaking awesome. My guy, Jerry Seinfeld, will be very happy too. And to wrap things up, really, just a little update on me and, movies and probably what I'm going to review soon. I, probably within the next week or 2 weeks, I'm going to see Top Gun Maverick. Recently just watched Top Gun. Very much liked it. It was one of those movies I'd seen a couple times on TV and all the way through, and it really works for me. It's definitely a flawed film, but if you watch it at face value, it's really fun, and I loved it. It was really great, and I really enjoyed it. So, Top Gun. I mean, in general, Cruise is actually one of my probably favorite actors, and I really think about it because there's when I think favorite actors, I always say it's like Harrison Ford and Will Smith are always my main two. But when I really think about it, I get made fun of by my friends a lot because they're like, your real favorite actors are the ones you don't even realize. You always say they're fourth or fifth. In reality, they're your favorite. And they're talking about Michael B. Jordan. Every time he's in a movie, I love the movie and I love him in it. And that goes for Chadwick Boseman. And then Tom Cruise is one of those. Every time I watch a movie with Tom Cruise in it, I really like the movie and I almost always like him in it. Costner, I like him in some movies, but almost every movie that has Costner in it, I really like. A lot of the movies he makes, I love. And really the only movie of his that he's in that he's my favorite part of is Bull Durham. His performance as Crash in Bull Durham really works for me. But every other one that I really like with him, Untouchables and, I'm trying to think of another one I really like. I mean, what's my third favorite Costner? I got to think on that one. Regardless, he usually isn't my favorite part, so Bull Durham's really the one exception to that. But Cruise, is one of those actors, I think I could genuinely watch every single one of his movies and enjoy it. Even something goofy like Cocktail's got, merit to it. You start off, you get Risky Business, Top Gun, Outsiders, Cocktail, like I said, Color of Money, and then, you get into, the 90s and you get Few Good Men, Jerry Maguire, you get into more of his drama stage. Oh, I forgot about Rain Man, of course. Couldn't forget about Rain Man. And then, you get into the big action movie spree of the 2000s when he does, in 1996, the first Mission Impossible. Then you get Mission Impossible 1, 2, 3. You get, what's the movie he did in the 2000s? Vanilla Sky, a little more drama, obviously. Character stuff. Then you get into his crazy freaking years where he does, Edge of Tomorrow, and Jack Reacher 1 and 2, and Night and Day, which I love. Underrated movie with him and Cameron Diaz. It's great. And then Mission Impossible 4 and 5 and 6, which are better than 1, 2, and 3. So, yeah, I think Cruise as an actor, I always enjoy his movies, and I almost always enjoy him in it. And even though Goose is my favorite character in Top Gun, we're not going to act like I don't really enjoy his movies and what he's doing. And incredibly excited for Top Gun Maverick. I mean, say what you will about the man and his crazy Scientology and all that, but as just a straight up actor and a guy who makes movies, he is kind of a relic of a different age to me. He's a very classical, I don't want to say classical. He's a very different type of movie star than what we have now, where he makes movies, right? I know that sounds like, oh, duh, he makes movies, but I'm saying like he isn't really attached to any franchise that isn't his, right? Like the only franchise he's attached to really is Mission Impossible, and that's like his franchise essentially. That's like his thing. I think he literally picked out the director for Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol. The one that really like jump started the series. Like he is kind of like his own being. Like he chooses what he is a kind of, I think, a more classic type of movie star that only comes around once in a while, where he makes big movies like all the time, and he doesn't need the Marvel engine or Disney or James Cameron. Like he doesn't need a big director, a big company, or a big franchise to really do that. Like obviously Top Gun 1's a big movie and like a cult classic, but like Top Gun Maverick, I mean, there's like people are telling me it's like one of the like up there of like Blade. I've read some articles saying it's like Blade Runner 2049 and like Mad Max Fury Road good. I'm like, holy crap. Like those movies, like I know Fury Road is nominated for Best Picture, and some people consider it the best movie of the past 10 years. Like Maverick is getting incredibly high praise. I can't wait for it. I think it's realistically realistically looking at what's left in 2022 on the movies, I think there's about 3 movies that could come for Batman for stealing the best movie of 2022 crown. And it would be Thor Love and Thunder, Top Gun Maverick, and Avatar 2. I think Avatar 2, Cameron could maybe give me something amazing, as I've talked before. I think I've talked before on this podcast that, like, I don't know, I actually think I haven't gone into this. Cameron is one of those guys, I really don't like Cameron as a person. I think he just kind of comes off as, like, kind of a prick. But almost every movie he's made, like, that I've watched has worked for me. I need to watch True Lies, I know. I definitely need to watch The Abyss. But, like, Terminator 1 and 2 are some of my favorite movies. And like Cameron movies just work for me. I watched Avatar 1 for the first time about a week ago, and it really worked for me. I really liked it. I think it's definitely one of those, though, where the story's relatively simple, and I think he did that on purpose because I think it's going to get more crazy as the series goes on. I'm actually really interested in the new Avatar, and I'm really excited for Avatar 2. Like, genuinely. I think it's going to be really good. I actually genuinely believe it's going to be really good. And so I can't wait for that. And I think, realistically, those are the only 3 movies that can even challenge Batman. And to be honest, I would be shocked if one of them did. The Batman was just amazing to me. It was everything I wanted out of Batman. It was kind of everything I wanted out of a superhero movie. It hit me at the perfect time, where I'm kind of down on the whole Marvel. I think they're kind of getting a little bland, and it hit me with exactly what I wanted at the right time. And then I went and saw Multiverse of Madness about 2 months later, and I was like, yeah, Marvel's doesn't have the kinks worked out yet. I think Marvel's still trying to figure out what. I don't think Marvel has a clear goal of where they're going with their movies. And their TV shows is kind of oversaturating the product, and I'm just kind of worried about Marvel as a whole. I think Thor Love and Thunder is just too powerful to fail. Like, Taika Waititi's got it going on. Chris Hemsworth's great in the role. I think the style of Thor movie they've made out of, like, they've gotten from Thor Ragnarok, and just now they're even going more crazy with it. I think it's just going to freaking work for me. I'm going to love it. And I think it's like No Way Home, where it's like, yeah, a Spider-Man movie where this happens with Tobey and Andrew, that's too good to F up, and they did it well. And Thor Love and Thunder, I'm like, okay, giving Waititi to do literally whatever he wants to do with it is going to work out. Like, there's no question. It's the stuff that has potential to be not as good as what I'm worried about with Marvel, and that's like the new Black Panther without Chadwick Boseman, obviously, rest in peace. And, you know, the new Ant-Man and Wasp, you know, I think that's scaring me too. Like, it's really the things that are, you know, possible to be really good or possible to be kind of So, you know, those concern me. You know, when I went and rewatched Doctor Strange, I was like, this is a movie of really high highs and really low lows for me. I might eventually change where I ranked it at the time. I think I need to wait before I rank Marvel movies on my tier list. Maybe what I'll do is I'll update that tier list at the end of the year. I don't think I'm going to update it again because I don't know if I'm happy with where I ranked it. I don't think it's better than Ant-Man 1, to be honest. I really don't. and I think I messed up the ranking. So, not a huge deal. But regardless, I might redo the MCU tier list at some point. But maybe at the end of the year, I'll just add the movies that came out in 2022 to it, and then I'll just do it every year. Or I'll just wait for a while, and then I'll redo the whole list. We'll see. Regardless, yeah, and you can't tell me what to do because, you can't talk back to me. I mean, I guess you could comment, and then I'd see it. But I mean, in this moment, you cannot tell me what to do. That comes off as really mean. It's not supposed to be. I'm just stating the reality, which is this is pre-recorded. And whatever I say here is going to get to you regardless. There's no way you can stop me unless you click off this video. And if you did, dang it. Dang it. Regardless, back to what I was saying, which is, yeah. I don't know. I think I said everything I want to say about the 2022 movies. I'm really excited about Maverick. I think Miles Teller's kind of on the upswing, and I think he's an actor that works for me and everything I've seen him in, and I'm really excited. I think this could be a big role for him. I've heard he's really good in it as Goose's son. As I said, Goose is my favorite character from Top Gun, so I'm very excited. Iceman's a close second, and obviously Iceman's in it. And I think I've heard that he has one line of dialogue that they had to have robots create because Val Kilmer cannot speak because of the surgery he had done for his lung cancer. So that'll be interesting. But I don't know why I sounded like I was going to cry for a moment there. It was just because I had a bit of stuff in my throat because of my allergies. But regardless, I'm really excited. I think 2022 is going to be a really strong year for movies. Oh, there's another movie that can knock Batman off. I got to see Everything Everywhere All at Once. I haven't seen it yet. It's apparently freaking amazing, best picture level, crazy good, and I think it sounds right up my alley. A woman that can travel the multiverse. Sounds crazy good. I don't think I'm going to have a chance to see it in theaters, but I am going to see it at some point. So that'll definitely be at the Sort of Sporties. Is that what I'm calling the awards show? Maybe. I think I'm calling it the Sort of Sporties. Regardless, that might make a run for Batman. But Batman is definitely in the lead. It's going to be tough for anything to beat it. I love the Batman so much. So good. And it is my favorite Batman movie. Yeah, but within the next 3 weeks, I should be seeing Top Gun Maverick, which I'm the most excited for. Jurassic World Extinction or Dominion? I think it's Dominion. Maybe I'm stupid. Let me look up 2022 upcoming movies. It might be Dominion. I don't think they'd put Extinction on a... that seems very... that seems... Yeah, it's Dominion. Okay. So it's like the New Japan Pro Wrestling show, Dominion. And then after that, I'm going to see Lightyear. I think my friends and I are mostly seeing Lightyear kind of ironically. I think we're just kind of dumbfounded by the fact that they made that. And we're like, why not? Let's go see it. It'll be fun. So hopefully it's good. I thought when I first heard about Lightyear that it was going to be a live action film. And I am not a person that's animation. No. You're looking at the guy that thinks Megamind is absolute cinema. I watched that Shea Frilla's video, and I was like, he might be right. Then I rewatched the movie and I was like, holy crap, he is right. Megamind's freaking amazing. Because Megamind is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen Megamind or you haven't seen it in a while, go watch it. It's so good. But, I'm not a guy who thinks that being an animation holds you back. If anything, I think being an animated movie actually makes you stronger overall as a film because you can be more... you can do so much more with lighting and design and the way characters look and, expressions, and you're not limited by reality. So I think an animated movie can actually overall make you a stronger film. At its peak, the greatest animated movie of all time, to me, if you made a perfect animated movie and that same movie perfectly in live action, the animated movie I think would be better. Just because you're not limited. But certain things are meant to be live action, certain things are meant to be animated. Jurassic Park is not that cool animated. In a cart, you know what I mean? But in real live action, it works out a lot better. So, yeah, looking at the upcoming movies of 2022, I'm going to see... But yeah, I thought Lightyear was going to be live action. I just felt like they wouldn't go I just thought it was a weird fit to do that, do an animated movie, but it's like it's not the same universe as it's like what Andy's playing with Buzz Lightyear as. So I just thought it was weird. I don't know. It's such a weird concept for me. To me, it made more sense honestly to be a live action film. I thought Chris Evans could be a live action Buzz Lightyear. I thought that'd be really cool. But in general, Disney doesn't really make a lot of live action, PG-13 movies anymore. They just that's like Marvel is kind of taking that spot for them. They don't really do stuff like Pirates of the Caribbean anymore. And partially because when they try to do that, again, like John Carter and Lone Ranger, two movies which I think are actually really underrated. I really like those. I shouldn't say I really like those because I've watched them about once each and I liked them, but I don't think I've seen Lone Ranger in 8 years. And I watched John Carter about 2 years ago and I liked it. So I probably should rewatch them before I say that, but I think I remember them being underrated. Regardless, I wish Disney would do a little more of that, but whatever. So, yeah. I'm really excited for the upcoming, there's a lot of movies on 2022 that I think it's going to be a really strong year for movies. And, there's some DC stuff coming out like Black Adam. I think that's going to be cool. And so I'm just overall excited. But, yeah, we'll just see what I review. I'm assuming I'm going to review Maverick and or Jurassic World. I don't know if I'll review Lightyear, but I feel like I'll do a review on Maverick and Jurassic World if I have something to say about it. If I don't have a lot to say, then I won't do it. So that answers that. All right. That's the end of the pod. See you all in the next one. Celtics in 7.